Hello young pirates. Before we start this week's writing challenge video and a new project, I'd like to take just a couple of minutes to speak to you about the global events that have been taking place since we last spoke. Across London, people have been marching in their thousands in response to events that have taken place in the United States of America, but also in the United Kingdom. They are marching for racial equality. You may have seen protests around where you live. You may have seen them on the news or heard about them on the radio. You may have heard people shouting or speaking about the phrase Black Lives Matter, which is the name of an organisation that campaign against racial inequality and violence against black people across the world. At the Literacy Pirates, we understand that you may wish to talk about what you've seen and heard. So that you can do that, we've created a special link below this video where you can write down any thoughts or feelings or questions that you might have. You don't have to do this, it's not part of a project or anything like that, but you might want to. We'd be really interested to hear your thoughts and feelings. Before you write anything down, it might be a good idea to speak to somebody you live with about what you're thinking and feeling, as this can be a really good way of figuring out your thoughts. And if you sit down to write and you aren't sure how to start, try some sentence starters like I think, I feel, I heard, I want, I hope. Keep the video playing for this week's writing challenge and the start of a brand new project called London After Lockdown. Hello young pirates and welcome to this week's writing challenge video and the start of a new project. If this is the first time you joined us, my name is Andrew and these videos are a week by week guide leading you through a writing project ending in a fantastic published product. So far we've been published authors, we've been audio stars online. We hope you can join us for this final project of the year where you will be creating something fantastic too. I was so impressed by the recordings that you guys made for the Pirates Guide to the Galaxy website. Brilliant writing, exciting recordings with incredible expression in your voices. We can see you're getting more and more confident as writers with every piece that you submit to us, so well done. If you haven't been to the website yet, you can click the link below this video and have a good look and a listen to the planets that everybody has written about. Now, if you are joining us for the first time, please don't worry because today is the start of a brand new project. It's going to take us all the way up to the end of the school year in July. The project's called London After Lockdown. Now, the COVID-19 lockdown has been the strangest time that most of us have ever, and maybe ever will, live through. As the lockdown lifts and life slowly goes back to normal, we have a chance to remake our lives, our city that we live in, and the world that we share with everybody else. What are the parts of life you are looking forward to getting back to? What are the changes to that life that you think you would want to make? And what are the parts about your life in lockdown that you would actually like to keep the same? That is the subject of this week's writing challenge. Now, before we get started, for this writing challenge, you're going to need a few things. One is you're going to need this planning sheet. It should have arrived in the post along with lots of others. The one you're going to need today says week 1, planning after lockdown at the top. You're also going to need a splurge sheet. It says week 1, poem splurge, London after lockdown at the top. You also need a pen or pencil, a comfy place to sit, a glass of water and a piece of fruit if you've got one, a camel called Dave, and you'll also need 45 minutes on the clock and a way of timing yourself. Hit pause and get those things together now, and hit play again once you're ready to go. We will look back on the lockdown in London as being one of the strangest times that we all lived through. Shops have been closed, schools have been closed, cinemas, restaurants, theme parks, museums, even some parks were closed. We couldn't see our friends, we couldn't see some of our family. Most of us faced a very strange time where nothing felt quite normal at all. When the lockdown ends, what are the things that you are looking forward to most, would like to change most, or would like to keep doing? Now, we're going to be writing a short poem today. Now, we've divided this planning sheet into 6 sections. You, your school, London, friends, family, and the world. Let's take friends, for instance. Now, it could be that you are really looking forward to seeing your friends. It could be that one of the things you'd like to change is you'd like to spend even more time with your friends than you did before, and maybe do lots of outdoor things that don't involve seeing them on a screen. Something that I know I definitely like to keep the same about my friends is actually being in contact with them more. Even though I haven't been able to see my friends during lockdown, I've been in touch with them over Zoom or on the phone or texting them a lot more than I used to. So I'd actually like to keep that going even as lockdown ends. So it's really simple. We'd just like you to think about each of these 6 areas and think about what you're looking forward to, what you'd like to change, and what you'd like to keep the same when lockdown ends. It might be that in London, you want people to keep using bicycles instead of driving their cars. It might be that in the world, you want our prime ministers and presidents to think even more carefully about how people can be treated equally to one another. It might be that at school, you're actually looking forward to seeing your teacher again and having lessons in the classroom, but not so much looking forward to school dinners. You're going to have 15 minutes now to complete your plan. You don't need to write in full sentences, and I'm going to put an example on the screen which you can pause so that you can see some ideas if you're not quite sure where to start. Over to you. Well done. Hopefully you've got some brilliant ideas written down on your plan. So how do we want you to write your actual poem? Well, because it's a poem, it's really useful to have the captain's treasure out in front of you as you are writing. We're going to put a link to it beneath this video so that you can have it open as you write. Similes, alliteration, onomatopoeia, rhetorical questions, all of these things help to make your writing more exciting for the reader. Your skills focus today is going to be practicing making lists in your writing divided by commas. Specifically, I want us to think about sentences which list 3 things in a row.
3, that's a magic number.
Now, sometimes these are called power of 3 sentences.
3, that's a magic number.
Or magic 3 sentences.
3, that's a magic number.
For some reason, listing 3 things as opposed to 2 or 4 things sounds much better, and it makes us want to keep reading. Let's take an example. I walked to the shops today in the rain and bought bread and milk. It's not a very exciting sentence. How about I walked to the shops today in the rain and bought bread, milk and lemonade? Still not the most exciting story in the world, but for some reason that sentence is a lot more interesting, and not just because I like lemonade. 3 things in a row just sounds nicer. The ball was big and bouncy. Okay, sure, the ball was big and bouncy. Who cares? The ball was big, bouncy and blue. Now suddenly that sentence has a bit more pizzazz. It's also got that alliteration in there which makes it bounce along in a really nice way. And don't forget that if you're writing 3 things in a sentence in a row, you need a comma after the first one and after the second one. Now before we get started, you're going to see an example poem written by a friend of mine. You can write this poem in any way you want to, but you can see that they have started each verse with after lockdown. I recommend you start writing your splurge with after lockdown, even if you want to cross that out later. Here it is. After lockdown, I am going to feel happy, excited and free. I want to help people out who need more help than me. I'll keep reading for 30 minutes every day, even when I don't want to. I'll see my friends and play football like we are Barcelona versus Real Madrid. After lockdown, I will see my teachers and sit in lesson, just glad that it isn't on Zoom. I will never moan about getting up early again, as long as we eat breakfast as a family first. But I still want my dad's chicken stew for lunch. I didn't miss school dinners a bunch. I will see my friends' smiling faces, happier than the shining sun. We will go together on the train to Southend and swim in the salty sea. They will be right there in front of me, and not on a screen in another house far away. I will always be grateful for them. It was hard without them. After lockdown, homeless people should be given houses and be treated with respect. We should all stop flying in planes. The world is a cleaner place without jets filling the sky. Want to know why? Look up climate change online. It is worth your time. After lockdown, everyone will be treated the same, no matter where they are from, how they look, or their name. Now it's your turn. You're going to have half an hour to put your splurge together. Remember, start your poem with after lockdown, and you can keep using that all the way through if you would like. Don't forget Captain's Treasure and power of 3 sentences with a comma to break it up. On your marks, get set, splurge!
Somewhere in this hip hop soul community.
Clap your hand now, people, clap now. Clap your hand now, people, clap your hand. Clap your hand now, people.
Well done. I can't wait to read your splurges. As a reminder, or if you're joining us for the first time, you can now either take a photograph of your writing and you can submit it by pressing the button below, or you can press the button below and type it out into our form so that we can see it. We can't wait to read what you've written, and we will send you some feedback next week so that you know that we've read it and really liked it, and also so that you can improve your writing next time. This is also the point in the video where I congratulate you on taking part in our writing projects. In just a moment, all of the names of everyone who took part in our Pirate's Guide to the Galaxy finished project are going to go past the screen, and we're going to give them a round of applause. Get your hands warmed up. Get them ready. Well done, everyone. This project is going to be really, really exciting. Not only are you going to be writing about your thoughts about after lockdown, but next week we're going to be writing a letter to this guy. Anyone know who he is? That's right, he is the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan. If you want something to do between now and next Wednesday, as well as your piece of writing, have a think about what you would say to Sadiq Khan about the London you want to see after the lockdown is lifted. I'll be telling you more in next Wednesday's video. So in the meantime, have a great week, stay safe, bye!